paddleboard, all
Get started. 2:02. We're all here, so we don't need to elevate, Noreen, but I'm very happy that you're here and please fully participate. Approval of the agenda. Anybody have anything else to add or?
You don't have a spare copy, do you?
I do not. No. No.
Printer's busted.
So, a motion to approve the agenda.
so moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes from the 17th of March. I admit I did not reread these in the last couple of days, but I agreed with them when I wrote them. Anybody have anything to?
They were fine.
Okay, a motion to approve.
so moved.
I'll second it.
Public comment, none. All right, finance, so. We have the sheets that Linda sent and I forwarded yesterday. Anything, get this one back. Anything anybody has to,
I think we're in okay shape. I noticed cable went up by a little over $5.
yeah, from 43 to 49, yeah, per month.
But I mean, overall, we've
This is-
used about half of our budget,
This-
and it's half.
When you say cable, this is basic cable TV kind of stuff, or
This
is
is
it
our
our,
internet connection.
is it our fiber connection?
I think it's both. Oh, actually, I know we split it. We don't pay for the whole. I don't think we pay for the whole thing ourselves. I think we split it with the town amongst the. We either split it with DPW or we split it with the other town connections.
But,
I think it's internet.
but
I think
no one
it's
else in the town has a fiber connection other than us. And cable TV will be free, basic cable will not cost us anything as soon as they approve the new cable TV contract. So
Maybe.
it would,
Maybe if we ever get it.
yeah, so it would be good to figure what the split is on that fee.
Okay.
See what that fee
Yeah.
is actually covering.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think I asked you that question recently, and you thought it was our internet.
I thought it was internet.
Our internet
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah,
Well, let's find out for sure, please.
Okay.
I don't have my glasses on.
'Cause that's a good price for if it's high-speed internet,
Yeah.
high-speed
Right.
fiber.
Because otherwise, we don't have another line for that. That's
No,
the
but I'm
only-
just concerned that we're paying for basic cable service, which we don't use. We don't use any of the TV channels.
Well,
We do.
we do.
Did
We
check-
yeah.
we
check
watch
broadcast.
Did we watch TV down there?
Well, we only watch Channel 3 just to check on things
Oh, okay,
and make
alright.
sure.
All right, but anyway, as I said, it will be free as soon as the cable contract is signed and done. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
That's
yep,
good
no,
question.
worth checking. All right, other than that, things look as we would expect them to and where our expenses are. Manager's report, other than master plan, Asia, I didn't know if you had anything that isn't covered below on specific items. How are things going?
Things are going pretty good. I mean, I think everything else I have for updates is actually already on the agenda.
Okay.
So I think if we just move along,
All right.
things will
all right,
come up
things
as
will
we
come up,
move
right,
through.
right. When we last met, you still didn't get the camera that we now have. I just wonder how
Right.
that's working to have gotten that.
Yep, so this is the new camera. It's working well. It is an updated version of our old camera. I did try that Sony, purchased it, set it up. It just it was like a more advanced camera than we really could use with our computer and everything. And I did reach out to Sony for some advice, and they thought our computer was old, but our computer's brand new, so it wasn't that. It just, the files on the Sony cameras are huge, and it took a really long time to download the video files and then convert them, and it was just an extra step that just would take us videographers so much extra time.
Okay.
But this one's in. Oh, and everything's worked out with the reimbursement because this camera wasn't as expensive as the Sony.
Okay.
So B&H reimbursed the account, and I had all that communication with Linda, so we're all good
All right, good.
there. And yeah, this one's working well, and because it's so similar to our old one except a newer version, it's easier for everyone to learn on and
Operate,
use.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, we might want to think about updating the other one we have sooner than later.
The one that goes on the road.
Yeah, but that one doesn't get as much use. So that being said, I have the old camera. I don't know if we can sell it
Sure.
online.
We've sold the other ones before.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be worth anything either, because it was having some issues, and it's an older version. I don't know if I could task Noreen with that. I've never sold things
On eBay.
on eBay, but I know you
Yeah.
have. I don't know if you can take that on or not.
Yeah, eventually.
Or eventually, yeah. The charger is compromised. It is like some of the wires are showing. So it's not in great shape altogether, but I don't know if you'd still get any money
Maybe-
for it or not.
Maybe put it on Tamworth Exchange or Madison Exchange. Try
Yeah.
that first.
Okay.
Ah,
That's a good idea.
Just say, yeah, it might need a little TLC
Okay.
to operate to, But
Okay.
I would try that first. It's local.
Yeah, that's a good
Maybe there's
idea.
a student out there. Just put it on for, I don't know,
So
$50.
its power supply is not in good?
Yeah, the cord.
But that can be replaced.
I just-
Well, yeah,
Why
sure.
don't you
Yeah.
find out what it would cost to replace that power supply, and then maybe it might be more attractive to sell if it's got a good power supply with it.
Yeah.
Is it anything to give to Kennett High School? Offer them with,
To Amanda.
to Amanda?
Yeah, I could see if they are interested in it.
I mean, maybe you can get $100 for it, or
Right. Yeah, that's
something.
what I was thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
not much, but
And let them worry with the brick. No.
yeah. Okay. Well, I can
Yeah.
reach out to
You
those
check with Amanda, and if,
avenues.
if it doesn't seem like, because I don't know, would Kennett pay for it versus if we sold it, and is that important whether we get $100 for it or not? We gave Amanda something else for Kennett.
Some old camcorders.
Old
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's worth a little bit, and if I mean the brick and stuff can't be more than $20, or I mean,
Okay.
just can't.
Yeah.
So
I'll
if you
look
could
into that.
sell it on
Yeah.
one of the exchanges, maybe the first
Right.
thing.
Local might be
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
less
yeah.
less hassle.
Sure.
Right.
Because for eBay, you got to put it, you got to ship it, and
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, good. Franchise agreement. do you know anything
I
about
know
where things
nothing
are?
about where
Okay.
things are, other than what we saw the last meeting we had, which was a sort of a final version of it. No, I have not heard anything.
Okay, okay. And, yeah, we did get, in May, a draft with the changes discussed at the public hearing. And I have a copy of that, but,
And I guess I have to be careful with my emails. I got slapped for 91A.
Really?
I did, for responding to
Oh.
that, when the question came up about, evaluating our, optical fiber hookup, making sure we were technically up to date. And, I responded in an email to everybody, and Linda came back and said, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, well,
So anyway, we just have to be careful with emails if we have any kind of discussion or something.
oh, that's,
Yeah.
okay,
You know what
okay,
model
from that
that
standpoint of it's not a meeting, you can't talk to everybody at the same time. Not the fact that it was about that particular topic, it was,
No, and it wasn't asking for any decision or anything, it was just making a comment, but, oh well.
okay, okay. And Linda was part of that email thread, I take it, so, yeah. Okay, okay. All right, good reminder, good reminder. It's hard when there's just, when two of us constitute a quorum.
I know, it's tough.
Yeah, yeah.
The old one was XA11, if that's what you're
no,
looking
I
at.
was just looking.
Oh, look at
Oh,
this
no,
one.
this is, I'm sorry, the old one I meant.
Yeah, XA11. You're looking at what they're worth online.
Yeah,
Oh.
fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we wait. Office renovations, moving, library. So I sent this list of what the library trustees came back with.
Yeah.
There's a lot here, like
Yes.
suggesting that a separate entrance would be needed.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, it was on the back of the, it was part of the agenda, but the attachment that had the agenda, this was.
Oh, it is,
yeah,
there it is,
yeah,
I did not
yeah.
look at the back, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And I didn't mean to print it separately, but my
that's okay.
printer grabbed 2 pages when it pulled through the agenda anyway, so that's why. Yeah, so separate entrance, exit, I mean, that's,
Is
They
that-
would have to dig, I think.
I was gonna say, is that even possible?
Yeah, that's what I thought
The
too.
big
Yeah,
dig,
that's-
the big dig.
yeah,
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 yeah.
so it'd have to be on this side of the building. Where are we? Are we east of the building here? Of the
Yes,
library?
Yes,
So it'd have to be on the east side of the library, whereas the main chick entrance is on the west side, so,
right.
yeah, I mean, that would be a major project.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree. I'm wondering if there's a way to get an entrance from upstairs rather than from outside. What they don't want us to do is interrupt any meetings that are going on in the
Right.
chick room.
Right.
If you can get to there from upstairs somehow, it might be easier.
How
I
many
don't know.
meetings do they really have? And I'm wondering, if a meeting ends here and they're having one there, then the person comes back the next day and does,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
work. I mean,
Yeah, because it says, or, in the meantime, they would need to work around our schedule, and
Yeah,
And I don't think
I
that's a
think we
problem.
could, yeah.
yeah, I think working around the schedule, we just have to, you and the others would have to
Right.
agree, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
maybe things aren't posted an hour after a meeting, maybe they're posted the next
next
morning,
day.
the next
Yeah,
day, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and the other thing is, you could have SD cards here, so you're not having to stop there to pick up an SD card
Right.
or pick up the camera the day before for an off-site or,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we could easily work around it.
I
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I mean, I go by, there's nothing happening.
Right.
So
And
Right.
if it's,
empty a lot.
the Mahjong group or something like that, that's
Yeah.
not a formal presentation.
Yeah, I don't
hopefully
think
we
that
could,
would be
go
disruptive.
in.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So I think
Yeah.
we have to ease the trustees' feelings about us doing it. Because I know one of the other things they're concerned about was us taking space from that room. Have you ever been in that room? It's a mess.
Oh, is it?
Just piles of stuff and shelves and, now, Sloan thinks she can work around it, but the trustees are a little bit.
Okay.
So, I know Sloan's looking for a MOA, is that what you called it?
MOU.
Yeah,
MOU.
Memoration of understanding,
yeah.
yeah, and that makes sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think maybe if we put one of those together and address their concerns, it's a start.
Yeah,
We don't have to do it tomorrow, so,
right.
Right.
yeah.
So, the other things, I mean, the air
Yeah.
quality issue, is that,
A dehumidifier?
would a dehumidifier do it? And
Yeah, something like that, yeah,
It's just, they either need to be emptied or you have to have a drain.
right.
yeah,
Not just
Right.
the humidifier, yeah. I think we'd have to, I mean, the room is very closed. So there's not an awful lot of air movement out there. Maybe we could have one of our engineer people look at it and say, all right, this is what you need to do to
A vent,
make the air quality
like
better.
a bathroom
Yeah.
vent.
Yeah, I mean,
Something that,
Vent or,
I'm sure you could
Yeah.
put the room is not completely underground. I mean, there's some foundation showing. And you could put a vent in there and move the air back up. So I think we could do it.
or even a vent in the floor of the upstairs, sending air down. I mean,
Yeah, but it's gotta go the other way as well.
true, okay.
There are no windows.
No,
Yeah, there are no windows in
It's
there,
all
that's,
underground.
yeah. Yeah, I think, we could have an engineer look at it, and I've said, it's a solvable problem.
yeah, 'cause a
well,
dehumidifier,
you said it's not completely all underground, right?
Right, well, I mean, there's some foundation showing
So
above.
could a window go in?
Well, no,
like
you
a
don't wanna
little-
put a window in through a poured concrete foundation.
Oh, okay.
But you could put a vent in there or something like that, yeah.
so a vent as in drilling a small hole?
Yeah, something like
as
that,
opposed
yeah.
to a windows, you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I think they had to do a radon test.
I was gonna ask about that, I mean, is,
Good point.
I just had to put in a radon mitigation system in our
yeah,
home.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yeah, I've got one of those at home as well.
Yeah,
And
But
was
that's
it,
that's a good thing. You'd think the library would wanna do that.
exactly.
Right.
Sure, for all the people
Yeah.
working. there.
Maybe in our MOU, we could mention that it would be a good idea for the library to take on a radar. I mean,
They have the meters there.
Right,
borrowed them,
right.
so
Oh,
they-
that's
they've
right,
prob-
they've got the damn meters
They've
there.
probably done it,
yeah, that's
so
true.
maybe they've done it already.
Yeah, they
Right.
could do their own
Yeah.
radar.
Right.
Right,
Yeah, good point.
That's where you borrow them.
Let's ask them if they've done a radar test.
and
Yeah,
are there
that's a good
other
question.
things we should test for? I mean, probably carbon monoxide, or I don't know what other,
Yeah, you'd think they've got those alarms in the building already, but I
right,
don't know.
maybe
Maybe not
not
in
in the
that room.
basement,
yeah,
Something, again, good point.
but certainly to have fire,
Yeah,
carbon,
especially if we've got lithium ion batteries in there,
yeah.
then you certainly want, an alarm for that, cause I know a guy's, last summer, his house burnt down because of a Lion battery
Yeah.
burn.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
John
Friends.
Friends, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
They had a lithium ion
that
battery
was the
that blew
cause
up.
of it, oh, wow.
Wow. Well, what's her
Janice
face?
was out for a walk with
Janice
the
out for a
dog.
walk. Janice had gone home, picked up her dog, went out for a walk,
Oh,
came home
Came
from the walk,
back.
and the house was aflame.
Saw the smoke.
Terrible. Scary.
And the question of, internet fees, we could, if, I assume we'd have our own
Yes.
internet and would pay for that, but
Yeah.
electricity, if we're,
But no, we're not, yeah, I mean, it's concerned for them, just need to, tell them that we're not gonna use an awful lot of electricity. I doubt we're gonna change their electric bill at any point.
right.
I mean, what are we running there,
The server is
this-
running all the time.
the servers and the
PCs,
PCs, but the broadcast equipment too.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
again, the PCs, they don't take any power, my God.
yeah, they don't take.
It's not like we're running a big AC unit or something like that.
I wonder what they use electricity for, are they heating with it? I mean, how much does their bill change, I wonder, to be able to see if we were making a difference to it?
No idea.
Yeah,
I mean, I doubt that they're using electricity to heat the building, but I don't know.
yeah, uh-huh. So,
I'm trying to remember, No, they did, I'm trying to
Is it
remember.
well lit? Could you tell?
The
Is there
room?
enough light?
Yeah, there's enough light in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think we should pay something for electricity. How we
Oh,
figure it is,
yeah,
you know,
that's
whether.
Do you-
Just thinking if their use is pretty even throughout the year,
We
then,
can know.
you know, we
Yeah.
could say we'll
Yeah,
pay,
sure.
you know, 10% or something. If they heat with it, then it's gonna change a lot, and it's
Right.
hard to know what are we,
Right.
how much are we affecting it.
Do you have a room dimension? So many feet by so many feet? I'm just wondering if I can, like, is it about the same size as our current space?
Oh, no, the room itself is much larger,
Much larger?
but we would not get anywhere near, they're still gonna use that room for some of their other
Okay.
stuff as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we would only need half of it,
Oh,
or
yeah,
even less,
half-
even
even
less
a
than
third of
half,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So they wouldn't lose all their storage, they
No,
would
no.
still have a
No,
lot
no.
of storage space.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know if that would mean putting up dividers
I don't know
or
either. Yeah.
something.
I mean, it might be nice, yeah, all right, I was gonna say,
Maybe that would help with air quality if,
like portable office walls, those things that just sort of free.
yeah,
I mean, we're not gonna build a wall,
Like cubicle wall? a
Yeah.
cubicle wall.
Yeah,
yeah, that's all, yeah, those kind of, I think maybe. I mean, clearly, we wanna make sure that the door has a lock on it,
yeah,
so that
Yeah.
people just don't want.
right, yeah,
right, and that Sloan had the key, and, you know, so
Yeah,
they
and then
could
we had
get
the key,
in.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, right,
And
right,
we would,
right,
yeah.
so, yeah.
Do they have security like we do?
Yes,
Yes, okay.
yes, my understanding,
Okay.
yes,
Mhm.
You mean a security system
For the
with
door.
some,
For the door.
if someone broke in, kind of,
no, I was thinking the door as a, well,
See, we have to punch in a number. There's a security system.
yes, I believe yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Maybe.
Yes, they do, because I remember going out of the chick room, there's a panel there that you have to push the numbers in as you walk
Okay.
out, yes, yeah, they do.
okay.
Okay.
Would we still want our own separate one for that back room, or?
Well, I don't think the back room would have one of those keypads,
No,
just the door to the chick room would have one.
but I mean just to go into our own space,
Again, like I said, that's what I said, is that door needs a lock on it,
yeah, right,
so.
yeah, maybe a lock is enough
And if it
the
were
main
a
door-
keypad
I mean,
lock
put a
as
lead-
opposed to a
yes, right,
key, then,
that's true,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
And
right,
then it could be changed if there was need, you know,
Yeah.
sure,
if someone else on the board
Yeah,
had a,
that's
right.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
That could be
idea.
easily-
And then staff-wise, we don't have to be like, oh, where's the key, or who
Yeah,
has the
exactly,
key,
yeah,
or,
exactly.
yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
right,
Yeah, the only.
Good idea.
Don't drop it. Pockets in women's clothes are not meant to function very well.
no,
Yeah, I mean, the downside of that is you should change the security code every once in a while.
Oh,
'cause
sure,
Too
yeah.
many people get to know it, you
Yeah.
know. How many people know how to get into the Unitarian Church in Tamworth? Hundreds probably.
Hundreds, yeah.
357,
Well, now you just published it.
there you go.
That's like, I
Or even longer is at the Madison Church.
was gonna say, it's like the entrance to Allegro Pines.
Oh,
They've got that fence there, 0911.
okay. Or
Easy.
the barn at the church where they store things for the, and that's something like 0000. It's like the most basic. Okay, so still lots to talk about, so.
Mm-hmm. I still think it would be a worthwhile move for us. I think it would just be so much better than where we
Yeah.
are.
Mhm.
And I did meet with Dave Swift from DPW, and he did talk about putting the air conditioning in a different spot, like cutting out a window for it, but that just hasn't happened yet. I don't know. I just
And that was a used air conditioner when we got it, Asia.
was
so-
it?
Yes, so
And we
I
are.
think you could invest in a new one.
Yeah, we are running it because I can't have that equipment running. I mean, the equipment itself keeps the room pretty warm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when it's
Yes.
90 degrees
Oh,
out,
yeah,
you
you gotta
know.
Oh,
have
yeah.
it going.
But that being said, nobody's in there, 6 hours at a time or 4 hours at a time. We're in or out, we're
Yeah.
in, we're out, so.
Except Dave was when he was,
Well,
when he
true,
was doing
true.
maintenance,
Yeah.
computer maintenance.
He was there
He was there
for,
for several hours.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, and he did notice the air was
Right.
not cold.
Well,
right.
And it's funny.
No, I mean, and the Dave has said also, it's not good. There's not,
Enough.
even with moving the air conditioning, there's like no insulation
Mm.
in
Right.
that wall towards the garage, so
Right.
stuff is still
Mhm.
coming in anyway.
Yeah.
That's some of the thought in terms of this room in the library is, would we need to have air conditioner there to,
Oh, yeah.
to keep the room cool?
Well, if
So
they're
that would be,
storing stuff, it might be archive stuff, are they already,
They
is it
might-
already climate
Yeah, it might
controlled?
very well already be AC, so,
okay.
Yeah, but it's
okay.
good to ask.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it would stay cooler than the garage.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because it's underground.
more
Right.
But we're
underground.
gonna be generating heat,
Right, right.
the server.
And that needs a way to vent out.
Yeah, so I think we need some sort of an environmental engineer to look at the place and say, we're gonna put electronics in there, what do we need to do to make this room useful for,
And who would
Human being.
who
that's a good question, I was gonna ask you the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my next question too.
who do we go to next?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask where we are with the age of the server now, because that server went in,
What the,
I'm trying, I don't have the records, but
Tele-
we could look at the folder and see when it went in.
you mean the video server?
The yeah, the
What?
broadcaster, yeah, the broadcasting server.
Was it a Teleview?
Hypercaster, Telview,
Teleview, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Telview. So maybe Telview are the people to ask at the same time we ask about the age and what are we looking at for upgrade, because that's gonna need, I mean, at least probably next year to be upgraded or,
Okay.
That's a $15,000 equipment.
I know.
Yeah.
We spent 12,000 on that changeover
And
at
that-
the time,
And
now
that's
it's gonna
something
be
we
more.
would have to buy.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, it's-
Okay.
it would come out of your
yeah,
expendable trust fund.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's why the money's going in there.
Right.
Exactly.
It's
Wow.
for that changeover, because
And I would
it's-
imagine that a
We've gotta be
new
close
unit
to 5
would be
years.
smaller than the one you've got now, which
I think
puts out less heat, uses less power, and
could
right,
very well
right.
be, but we could, if we were forecasting when we needed to replace that
Yeah.
with a move.
With a move.
I'm just,
Yep.
just
Yeah,
anticipating that might coordinate together and we would
Maybe.
get
Yeah.
help from Telview.
yeah, maybe you need to look into that and
Okay.
just see what a new Teleview unit costs. And
Charlie, I
Yep.
can't remember his last name.
Page.
Page,
Yeah.
yeah, call Charlie Page,
Okay.
talk to him. Tell him what the circumstances are, give him the picture and
Okay.
And, yeah, we've got almost 69,000 in our,
yeah, so we're more than
Expendable
prepared
trust.
for
Got
that
enough,
changeover, and it was for that reason that we started that fund,
Right.
so,
Well, yeah, smart, because that equipment's expensive.
yeah, so gonna be a new one to get it while,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as part of the move. Environmental engineer, so that's, I guess the
Well,
town uses one for.
I can, when I discuss the upgrade with Charlie Page, he might be able to kind of point me in the right direction of
Okay.
what, sort of environment does this equipment need to sit in, and
that's
what,
what I was thinking.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
what needs to be in that room. I'll just kind of tell him we're thinking of moving and we have a
Mhm.
space, but we need to know what it
Yeah,
needs.
yeah,
So.
and, yeah. Okay. So I guess that's next,
I did think of two more things. Well, they're sort of related.
Well, anything else we should do next step? You're talking to Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
just finding out, like, is that room air conditioned now? I'd like to see the space. I'll stop sometime and ask Sloan if I can,
Yeah,
if she can
she's-
show it to me.
Yeah, she
I'd like
she
to
walked
see
me
it.
Just
down
to-
I'd
there.
like to see it too.
Yeah, have some idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we could do it together, or,
Maybe
you know.
after, they open at 10 on Wednesdays? I can never remember when.
I
I think it's noon on.
Noon on
Oh,
Wednesday.
oh no, wait, it's Wednesday. Yeah, maybe it's earlier. I think it's noon on Tuesdays.
Okay, well, we can talk about
Okay,
it.
okay. All right. All right, what else, Asia?
Oh, so I had reached out to Noreen's contact Sarah about some IT work, kind of taking over where Dave left off. I am doing the maintenance on the computers because Dave kind of gave me a step-by-step on how to do that. So every couple of months I've been doing that to the PCs and the laptops here. And I had reached out to Sarah. She seemed like she was still interested, but then I haven't heard back. So I reached out again. She said she was still interested, but I asked her to kind of send me along, not necessarily like a resume, but sort of, or a cover letter or something, and then what her rate would be. And I did ask the town hall about it, and they wanted to see like a certificate of insurance from her if she was going to be doing IT work. So I'm just kind of waiting to hear back from her with that information. So just to update you that that's where we're at with IT personnel.
What kind of maintenance do you do on those machines?
I do upgrades and diagnostic checks and go through
Cleaners.
and run like a full virus scan,
Oh, okay.
run the CC cleaner.
Those are run automatically?
Yes.
They run
Sarah
automatically,
Blanton.
but doing like a full
Alright,
scan
TTL.
doesn't because
Okay.
it takes longer, so it's
Yeah.
like a
Are
more,
they all running Windows 10?
they're
11.
on
I
11.
think
Are
they're
they
on
on 11?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep. And then I'll go to, I
Yeah.
go right to Dell and run the diagnostics
Okay.
check and
Alright.
the software upgrades and
Oh, okay, good.
Windows upgrades and stuff like that.
All right, good,
so.
thanks.
There's a couple things that I don't really know how to do, but nothing's like come up with that
Mhm.
yet. It's more like if we have an issue. So knock on wood, we haven't had any issues yet, but.
And I have the backup UPS in the car.
You do,
We've
with
been
you.
holding
Okay.
on to it for months, but I have it.
Okay.
don't
Well,
forget to get it
afterwards
from
we
me.
could, or I'll just take it from you, cause
Yeah.
I'll be going back to the station afterwards.
I mean, you could always call Dave. Actually, he's doing pretty well, so you could always
Good.
call him.
Good.
To ask him if you had something.
Okay, yeah,
he could
if
look
something
at
came
for
up.
you or advise on the phone or whatever. So
Okay.
Good.
So that being said, I don't know that we'll use much out of our contractors line this year. But I
It's gonna
shouldn't,
be you.
I know, I shouldn't speak too soon because who knows? I say that and then we'll need,
Something.
some services.
Yeah.
But I am still wanting to get a better laptop for streaming. And I've looked into other laptops just with higher memory, higher graphics cards. Ours are, the ones that are on the laptop we use here are kind of all low on the spectrum of what's needed
'cause I
for
think-
streaming.
I think when we purchased those, they were cheap.
Yeah.
We didn't wanna spend a lot of money
Yeah.
when we bought them, but.
Right.
And it's too bad that, you hadn't thought of this a little bit earlier, cause Amazon had a couple of incredible deals on laptops.
Oh yeah.
They had a $2,000 laptop for $500.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then they had a $1,200 one for $400.
Are you often looking at
I look at it
laptop?
all the time.
Well, then maybe
Well,
you better send those deals to
Yeah,
her.
if you see deals, and I can send you the specs that I'm looking for, cause more RAM, more,
I understand,
yeah.
yeah. I can figure, I know what you're looking for.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and even, I don't know if, there's now these, all the gaming laptops,
Oh,
and
yeah.
those come with those higher specs
Higher chip, that's right.
because they're for gaming, and so
It
even
is,
something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it comes with a lot of features we wouldn't use, but it may help with
Yeah.
some of the streaming issues we've
Yep.
had. So I was sort of like looping around to this $3,000 contractors line to see if we should, take 2,000 out of that for a new laptop, or we use that from our expendable trust fund.
You've got an
Or-
equipment line. 3,000. Is that where the
Yeah, we
cameras
really
come in?
haven't, we do have the equipment line. I mean,
Is
we
that
really
the
haven't.
camera? Will the camera come? or did-
Well, the camera came out of our.
Last year?
Or did that come out of expendable?
I thought we took that out of
Oh, the
our
expendable
trust fund.
Oh. Hmm. But you do have equipment.
But that's true. We do have the equipment line. And if we can get a $2,000 laptop for $500 or $800 or even $1,000. Wait, you found one already?
Dave is always on top of it too.
How
So
about
Okay.
we
a,
always
how about a
send him
gaming laptop?
the game laptop.
Yeah, I mean, it just
i5
depends on what
i5
the.
processor, NVIDIA 4050, 15.6 display, 8 gigabyte of DDR5, 512 SSD, Wi-Fi 6,
I mean, I have to compare it with my notes. 'Cause-
$649.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that,
I just have to compare it with because I have all the specs written down.
I would suggest the
Somewhere.
board make a motion to allow Asia to spend up to 1,000. If a deal comes
Okay.
through really quick and you have to
I'm
jump,
I'm good with that.
I'm not
Yeah.
on, you guys have to make the motion. Peg made the motion.
All right.
Yeah, see, even the 16 gigabytes of memory though, I think we want more
Yeah,
like
yeah,
32.
I mean,
But
Those are always upgradable, but that's, look
Yeah.
at the prices on those things.
yeah,
That's because this is Amazon's Prime Deal week.
I was gonna say, I heard
That's
this
right,
is
it is
Prime
the
Week.
Prime. It is
So
Prime.
there are good bargains this week.
okay.
Really? I think you wanted to.
Yeah. On everything.
I
mean,
never shop
Everything.
at Amazon, so I always miss these. Oh.
I shop occasionally,
I
but
didn't
I'm
need
not,
anything, so I wasn't looking.
I'm not
but-
Prime,
but I
yeah.
go look
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
see if there's something I need.
Do you have to have Prime to?
Yeah.
Oh, see. Well.
But if you're, don't shop often and you buy some things, they'll offer you a Prime membership for a month for nothing.
Free
Right.
trial.
So you can
right.
take it
Yeah.
and then cancel it. I've done that
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yep.
Unless the town has like Prime. I
Does
guess.
the town
I do.
have Prime?
Yeah, I
Obviously,
just
do.
wondered that.
I mean, if worst comes to shove, I could buy it. Just,
And you could just do a reimbursement.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
All
Yeah,
right.
we can do
Well,
it.
let me look and
Okay, there are pages here of Prime Day deals on laptops.
I can't handle pages. Sometimes there's too many options.
That's what it is right here.
But you're right. If I look and it's got everything we need and it's on the Prime deal, then that's great.
Laptops clearance sale 2025.
So I'm writing down a motion that Noreen / Margaret made, authorization, to spend up to
Up to
To ten-
$100,000. Yeah.
Well, if it's
to
more, then you have to
$1,000
go, if
for,
it's more, don't you have to go to the selectmen?
I think that's up to 2,000
Oh,
now.
is it? Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
then make, authorize whatever, but,
But I think easily done. with
Easily
$1,000.
done.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
yeah.
For a new laptop. Now, do we want to authorize Asia or just,
Authorize Asia to do this.
okay, so even if you order it?
Yes.
It's
Asia's-
between you guys.
Asia's approving it. And a new laptop for
live streaming.
For
For
the-
live streaming,
At the
thank
town
you.
hall. Now, what do you do for the one you take with you?
Yeah,
It doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's just used less. It doesn't seem to have the same issues.
Oh, okay.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
But if I don't know, maybe I should just buy two, if they're only
Yeah.
$499. And then there's $1,000 right there. But
We could say for,
1,200.
Well, if you need to, we'll give you $1,000, and if you need to, if you decide you want to, come back to us and we'll just,
okay,
well, but if you want to get them this week,
oh, that's
better
true.
to.
yeah.
Alright, so Let's modify that and make it $2,000, how's that?
Okay. Well, just go, let's think about where this is coming from. I don't see that the question of where the new camera come from. It's not in the,
It's not in the budget.
not in the budget as having been purchased, you know, because we still have
So it,
29,000 in the equipment.
I'm pretty sure it came out of our trust fund for that original camera, and then it was reimbursed. The difference was
Yeah,
reimbursed.
To the trust fund, okay.
To the trust
I didn't,
fund.
I didn't note that. The last thing I have in my notes is the Telview 5,900 that we spent. Whatever that was for.
What is that for?
That was that support. The
Oh, that's
Telview
right, this
support.
is the
Support
multi-year
contract. Yeah.
support, yes,
Four-year
yeah,
contract.
yeah. In the back, all right. So, we're gonna say up to 2,000 for a new laptop, and I'm gonna say laptops.
Laptops.
For live streaming, and I'll just say for live streaming, not at town hall.
Right.
All right, so Margaret, are you still okay with that motion?
So moved.
All right, and I've seconded it.
Good,
All in favor?
sure, aye.
Okay.
Or it came out of our other equipment account. The one that's the checking account, I think. I'm
The-
just drawing a blank on
It
where it
possibly
came.
did.
But I might,
It
that might have been
possibly
where it
did.
came out of.
The one,
There's two accounts.
There's two.
There were two.
the one where we put money, like when we do
Yeah.
filming for.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and that was up to, just over
I
$4,000.
bet it came in with
I
that.
think we
I
did
think,
that.
yeah,
Yep.
I think that's right. Can you confirm that and let me know, just so
Yeah.
I can, have my notes here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But we'll figure this will come out of our equipment line item, these new laptops. One or two,
Yeah, that's what it's for.
yeah, okay. All right. Moving on to master plan, or do you have anything else?
I'm ready to move on to that, and it's not I mean, if anyone else has anything before that.
The only other thing I wanted to touch base on is thinking about our terms of service and how long do we all want to be at this table? And I know that this is my last 3-year term, which means I've still got, 2.5 years. And I've talked to Margaret and she said that, this is her last. And so that's.
You can't leave
A
until you
year and a
find
half.
replacement.
Well, and so like,
Yeah, find your
how,
Find your own replacement.
well, that's why I bring it up. Do we as a group wanna begin to think about that? Where are you, Doug? Your term will expire in March. Do you
I'm here.
feel like you're here? Okay.
I'm here.
That's great, okay.
I'm
So-
retired, I need something to do, and
All right,
this is one of
great,
those things I have to do, so.
Okay, wonderful. You are so important to this team. I'm really glad to hear that. So it's not urgent, but just, when we've got a wonderful alternate, but let's just keep our ears out for, I don't know that we could bring on another alternate, but, if someone else was interested and wanted to attend a meeting occasionally or something, just to be looking ahead.
To keep our
Okay,
ears open.
okay.
Yep.
All right. So, master plan.
So I am on the master plan,
Okay.
The master plan committee. The way, Madison is rewriting their master plan, which is kind of out of date. And they were going to engage a company, and it was gonna cost the town like $100,000 or something.
Wow.
So instead, these volunteers got together, board members, different town.
I have it.
You have it all,
Yep.
okay.
And I have-
And you just needed the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
small.
yeah,
Okay, please come here, Doug.
thank you.
So, as a committee member, I have been tasked with coming before Mad TV with these prompts. Basically, it's like I would say the one small thing paper is more of like a brainstorming activity. So basically you just you don't have to answer every question, but these questions should help guide the worksheet on the next page. So basically, you know, what kind of long-term goals does Mad TV have? What sort of projects? Doesn't have to be all filled out right now, but if it's something, you know, as board members you could work on. I think they're trying to gain insight before their October meeting. So just something to kind of go through and start thinking about.
Could we ask
So-
ChatGPT?
Sure. No, I mean, you
seriously,
can. Yeah, seriously.
I
like,
use it.
I know.
Yeah.
I have a friend who I was kind of staying away from all of it, and I had
yeah.
a friend who showed me it, and I was actually pretty impressed with.
Yep.
I'm still concerned about the environmental issues with using AI. It really does use a
Terms of
lot
the
more
amount of
energy,
power,
Oh.
yeah,
a lot more
yeah,
power. It
yeah.
takes a lot more water to cool the
Yes,
the
yeah.
the centers and
these
everything,
big-
and these
yeah,
huge
yeah.
data centers. But it's here.
Yeah,
You know, it's a tool.
right.
We're living with it. We might as well also take advantage of it when we need to.
I attended a workshop and it was pretty amazing what
It's
this
amazing.
guy
It
was
is
doing,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, and we're filming that one. There's one coming
Yeah.
up at the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Which is going to break loose to people
yeah,
anyway. It's going to happen.
right. So yeah. I mean, feel free to plug all these things in and see what
Get it back
they
to
can.
you.
I mean, we could do a little brainstorming right now too. just
Sure,
to,
yeah.
You know, do some.
So our focus, though, is the future of Madison TV, right? Is coming
Right.
from us.
Right.
Okay.
And then as individuals, if you haven't already, there's a survey out.
I saw
and
the
that is
survey,
live.
yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you could take that survey,
Yeah.
you can go to the town website and get to it from there, or you can scan that QR code. I don't
Yeah.
think there's paper copies of it. I think it is all
Online.
online.
Okay.
But we're trying to get the survey out. We're trying to get as
Right.
many community members as we can
Yeah.
to fill out the survey. And then this exercise is more for Mad TV as a department.
Is this in place of, is the survey and this in place of hiring somebody to help the town?
I think we are still gonna hire. I think they are still gonna hire someone.
Yeah. Okay.
But the more work that comes from the
From the
volunteers,
yeah.
the less they
You
have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have reached out to this North Country Council
Mm-hmm.
who helps towns and stuff.
Of which we have not been a member.
Right. So I think last meeting they all voted to have them come present at their August meeting, which the public is welcome. It's August 6th at 6 p.m. But in the meantime, if we can do a little bit of brainstorming and work on this and just kind of come up with some goals and projects, and some of these questions might not necessarily apply to Mad TV,
Right.
but
Aisha, could I ask a question?
yeah.
Did the committee, or has it been considered even bigger picture as to whether Madison is more of a Lakes Region community versus a North Country community?
I don't know. I don't know if that's come up. I haven't been to all of the meetings.
Because, I mean, we've got Ossipee Lake, I mean, we've got, we're more in that
Right.
area than we are in the White Mountains. So I'm just asking if that was a consideration
Is that
at
because
all.
there's a different group that works with more
There's
of
a
the Lakes
there's
region?
a Lakes there's
Yeah.
a Lakes Region Council.
Council.
Lakes
Yeah.
Region Planning, I think. Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but it's something I could bring up.
Actually, I think that when I was on the planning board, we can only become part of Lakes Region if the governor makes a change, because I think the dividing line is
Oh.
right where we are. So we're
Okay.
already, that.
So we are
al-
considered
already in
North
North
Country.
Country.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that, then that
Yeah.
makes sense.
that was a while back, but
Wow.
I do
yeah.
remember that it was gonna have to be a governor's, thing. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Doug, while you were using the restroom, I just pointed out the master plan community survey. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've taken it yet.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to put the plug in as if everybody can take it
Do
and
it
that's more as just
individually.
as a community member.
Yeah,
This exercise is more of from the whole
Yeah.
board, from the department.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Another thing that I thought of about the future of Madison TV is perhaps talking to another. Of course, Doug has experience from Amherst, but talking to another small town, you know, a town that doesn't have it would probably want to have it, and so that opens up a whole nice window for them. We have it. How do we vision moving forward? What you know? What changes in the town might be something that drives Madison TV versus Madison TV coming up with a vision and driving the town is what I'm trying to get at. Which comes before the horse or the cart, the chicken or the egg. But at any rate, if
I mean,
we were
that's
to
it.
get experience from another small town's evolution of their
yeah.
TV broadcasting, I don't know where we would go.
Off the top of my head, no, I
Right.
wouldn't know either.
But NHCCM
I just wrote that down. Yeah.
might have some
Yeah.
pointers
Yeah.
for us.
That's
Right.
true.
Right.
And you certainly came back with ideas from a conference you went to,
Mhm.
things you saw
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, but those were bigger towns. I think trying to find
Yeah, a small
a smaller
town,
towns,
or slightly
similar,
larger than us, maybe.
right? Similar
Mhm.
population and
Mhm.
yeah.
Is there anything in the individual survey about diversity of programming that you know that addressed what people want to watch that maybe we're not providing, or like, because we did our own survey,
Yeah.
Madison TV did its own first survey at one point in time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I took the survey myself. I didn't see anything. I didn't even see Madison TV in there at all mentioned.
Right.
can you see what other people have put in when you take it, or is
No,
it, no?
no. It's more like a Google document where you just kind of fill in the answers and send it along.
But there was nothing to prompt a response regarding Mad TV? Uh-huh.
So that's a really good point.
That
It's
we're
just
missing.
We're
We're missing
We're
from
missing
the
from the-
individual,
from the
from
survey
the
itself.
survey.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have, they
Yeah.
didn't ask us.
And when North Country Council comes around, there may be another. They might put out a different survey. It kind of depends. It kind of depends on if they feel like we didn't, reach out enough, or we didn't have enough of an outreach, or if there was questions lacking. So I can bring this forward to the committee.
I would think that if the survey's just taking off, maybe they could add something.
Maybe it's not too late.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
not too late to
Right.
add some things.
Yeah.
But I would be curious as to the type of programming, or,
Yeah.
are people, I still wanna know, are people watching?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Let me ask.
are they watching
the
streaming
chair.
versus Channel 3?
Right.
Because
Right.
people, if people are backing off Spectrum because they're streaming more,
Right.
then the YouTube is gonna be more popular than.
Right.
Which they know,
Right.
we know they are, because our,
Yeah.
This past month, I just read that there are now, people are doing now, for the first time, more streaming than they are cable TV.
Cable.
Yeah.
It's
I
now
think that's why
overtaking.
our money went
oh,
down.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's the
yeah.
first,
Right.
that's the first test.
That's right,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, less people with cable
Yeah.
in town. Absolutely, well, and which includes some of us. I mean, you can't get it, right, or can you now with
I can't
your-
get cable.
Still
No.
with Fidium, that hasn't affected
No.
it. And I have it for about half the year and then shut it off to save money when I'm
Travel, yeah.
too busy in the summer or traveling and, you know. Yeah,
Yeah. Well. Yeah. This is a good start.
brainstorming, what
Yeah.
would we like to see? I mean, we've talked about having a studio, or we could, do.
Well, I mean,
do
even just in the
filming.
very immediate, our first project is an office
Yeah,
space.
yeah, right,
With
yeah,
clean
is.
air.
yeah, right,
Yep.
right,
So,
And how visible would it be? Who
yeah,
would know we were there if, with no advance notice, would they?
that's
That-
another point.
That's a good point. I would
Yeah.
love to see we pay for a sign
Me too.
that
Yeah.
points to our
Signage.
office, Mad TV,
Mhm.
point the ad down there, something like that. That would be a
Yes,
really
yes,
good
yes,
thing.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So
Yeah,
they know we're part of the town.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Do we ever advertise in any of the papers? Say, did you know that?
No.
Except for posting job
Right.
openings.
Yeah.
and occasionally we've put something on one of the listservs or Facebook pages about something, but.
Yeah.
But nobody who reads the Sun knows that we're here if they don't already know.
That's right.
Right, right.
Did
Unlike
you ever
television.
watch a town meeting? It's really exciting stuff.
Tune in, available now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Valley, the Conway has their
Valley
schedule in the,
Valley Vision, yeah.
Right.
um,
In the paper.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it costs, but that could get quite expensive to do, and, as frequently as they do.
Yeah.
They post in every issue that they are.
I don't know.
I'm sure now if I
I
see
mean,
it
that's
ever, if it's
that's a
once
good
week.
idea. Like maybe just once a year, around town meeting, we could say, we
Yeah.
could put out a little ad. We'll be live live
Yeah.
streaming
Yeah,
and
That would be good.
broadcasting
Annual
Yeah.
meeting.
Madison
Yeah.
town
That's good.
meeting.
Right.
Good idea, good idea.
Um,
And there is a person, I don't know who it is, in town here who writes for the Madison column or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
yeah.
I don't remember what it is, but it would be nice to get in contact with them and just say, gee, on this basis, could you just put something about,
Once a quarter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is the
I-
shows that are gonna show up?
I
and-
know. I get her emails. I never think to. I just
Oh, do you?
don't think of what to put in the column. But
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Why, even
you know,
even coming up, Madison
just one
TV will
sentence.
be
Yeah.
filming events during Old Home Week.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
Or something.
yeah.
something like that,
Right.
yeah.
And they'll
I
be
think that-
available on.
Yeah, I think the column though. I think it's for things that have already happened. Is that
Well,
right?
Not necessarily. No, it's for coming
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Craft show and all that
I
stuff.
read them for various towns,
Yeah.
and someone like Anne who does Tamworth, it's so extensive, she,
Yeah.
copies, I think
Yeah,
hers get a little too long.
Oh wow.
But the Eaton one is interesting, there'll be personal little notes.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it recently, partly because my traveling last
Yeah.
month. But
All right.
maybe every 2 weeks, it used to be Robert King, about
Yeah, it
King.
was, but I-
Oh, was
But
it?
He did a terrible job.
Yeah, he did. He
Oh.
did. And
Well, he moved. He's not in Madison anymore.
is he out of Oh, that's right, they're going to
Yeah.
Tamworth
Yeah.
or somewhere.
It's like Shannon or.
Yeah, I cut it out and put it up in part thinking
Yeah.
about, and we've got stuff coming up here, we, should send it to her. But
Right.
if you get her, does
Yeah.
she send you an email saying
would
my
think
column's
Linda would
coming
know.
up
She
soon?
sends it to
Oh.
all the departments, and
Okay,
so
yeah.
Madison
Oh.
TV is on there, and
Oh,
she'll just
good.
say if anyone has any updates. So I'll try
Oh,
to.
that's good.
Send
try
her-
to actually-
Send her something each time.
Even if it's
Yeah.
just a, did you know, the
Right.
selectmen's meeting shows on Wednesday at 5, or,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
true. Right, just a little.
On Channel 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah,
And on
great.
YouTube, and here's the access or something.
Yeah,
Excellent.
good
that'd be
idea.
great. That'd be great.
Particularly since we'll be looking for new board members, it would help if people
Yeah.
had heard of us.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah,
Even that. Are you
Who
wanting to
would
serve
serve
on
on
the
the
board?
board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great place to advertise that.
Right.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Lots of
So,
good ideas.
Who pays for the town column?
I don't think there's
I don't
any
think they
charge, I
pay.
think
There's
it's
no
part of
charge,
the
it's just part
service
of
of
the
the
service.
paper, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
makes
Like a
sense.
press release.
I think it used to maybe be more often, and then they cut back, I remember
Maybe
hearing
once
that
a
at one
month or
point,
something.
so,
Yeah.
it's twice a month or something.
They cut back on
In
the
terms of,
papers.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
what was supposed to be for 2 months has been ongoing, but to me, that's
Yeah.
okay, I have trouble keeping up with
Right.
reading.
You can't go, you have good ideas.
My wife uses the crossword puzzles.
Oh, right. Yeah. All right, so there's some ideas.
Yeah, so short-term projects are just, more advertising, signage, our office space,
Yep,
getting in the survey. And then, you know, like you mentioned, maybe long-term projects, or maybe we do have a studio. So then we need a little more space in the
Yeah.
basement,
Yeah.
I've been down that road, thank you.
yeah. I don't know, any other long-term, I would like to see us in the CIP, cause I don't think we're really mentioned in there at all.
What's the CIP?
The
Capital
CIP is the
Improvement.
capital improvement plan,
Oh.
and it's basically forecasting 10 or 20 years out on what expenses are gonna come through the town, so
But
that
they're
the-
large expenses.
they're large expenses, but, I mean, even this past year, they approved $8,000 that
Yeah.
wasn't going to come from franchise fees, the town was gonna pay for it,
Mhm.
so, it's, you know.
And we didn't even ask them to do that.
We
you
didn't
know?
ask
It
them
was
to
just-
do that, they
They were
were
so
very,
surprised.
yeah.
generous.
They were very
Yeah,
generous that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
You know, but do we want to be written into the CIP so that we, even just as a placeholder?
It would probably be for equipment, cause generally you do
Yeah.
not put staffing and you,
Right.
and generally it's a $10,000, you know, something that's greater than
Okay.
$10,000 or
Right.
larger, so.
Okay, yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
Right, right. So it wouldn't be to
Capital
cover.
expenditures, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
capital.
So
But,
this.
but if we needed a new building, if we wanted a studio, that would be the thing that would, if it had to be
Yeah.
an add-on room or something, an
Yeah.
add-on to the library or
Or
add-on to
this-
this building.
This Teleview of, you know,
Yeah,
sounds like it's gonna be over 10,000,
yeah.
you know.
Right.
If that, and is that something that comes up every 5 years or so?
It would because of the technology changes, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
last I spoke to Charlie, he said, oh, you're good for now, but I would have to look up when we
Yeah, I
when we
don't know off the
updated
top.
that
I have
server,
to
but I know
look
it was
too.
around $12,000 in total, and
Okay.
it took it was, you know, had to be planned, and, yeah, it was
Mhm.
a big project.
All right, anything else we need to cover? Next meeting date,
Should we
That-
meet before that October
well,
deadline for the
yeah,
master plan thing?
I'm suggesting early October. I'm away again, going on a bike ride.
Oh,
Let me
boy.
tell you the September dates. I'm gone for about 3 weeks, so.
Wow,
um,
Well, we may need to respond, to have a meeting to respond to what the library comes back with us after giving them the
Right.
things that we may.
also, the town's gonna be wanting a budget,
Right,
rather
Right.
too.
right.
Oh, gosh.
Again, she says, is that already here again?
I'm not back to the last weekend in September, but, you know,
Okay.
if we wanted to do a Wednesday, October 1st,
I'm good for that.
I
Right now.
figured that would be early enough for budgets, if it's early enough for other things.
Yeah,
Because usually it's October, we talk about salary increases and
mm-hmm,
that kind of
For
stuff.
budgeting, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for
do a
budget.
draft, that should incorporate a draft budget. for
Yeah, yeah,
Asia.
yeah, to have a draft at that meeting and then
Okay,
adjust it from there, so.
that works for me, the
October,
first.
again, 10 o'clock? and-
yeah.
Okay,
Do we have to do something in the processing of the library room before then? We're gonna develop a
MOU,
yeah,
it seems like there's a whole lot before we can develop
yeah,
an OU. But I think if we stop and look at it and ask some
Mhm.
more questions and
okay.
begin doing some environmental engineering, getting some more information,
Mhm.
you know. So
Yeah.
there are some steps we'll take in the meantime.
Yeah, I've seen the space, Doug's seen it, so I think if, you know, others want to
Yeah,
check it out. Other questions might come to mind once you see the
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
so,
yeah. You know, whether, I'm wondering if it would make sense for some of us to go to a trustee meeting, but it feels like there's still too many things unanswered, or, you know, not knowing.
Did you attend the trustees meeting, or you just communicated with Sloan and she
My
brought
wife is,
it before?
my wife is a trustee.
Oh.
I have a very good friend who's a trustee too.
But yeah, I talked to Sloan.
Okay.
And isn't that the way Sloan wanted to do it, didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, that she
Yeah.
said that she would bring it to the board, so,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, I'm just thinking that, you know, another step might be for us to go.
right.
If they have some questions, particularly if Sloan doesn't, and they need some more reassurance than
right.
she does on things.
Did anybody wanna go see the space today?
I do.
Oh.
I
Do we know if the library's, my phone is, I have no internet in this room, can you tell us?
Why not? You should have internet in this room.
Yeah,
That's not the question on the table. The question is, will you look up the library hours
And see if we
on
can,
your,
Sure, why not?
if they open at noon, we're gonna be close to it anyway,
Mm-hmm.
by the time we get done.
Yeah, I often have trouble with internet here.
Isn't there a guest
There is.
Wi-Fi?
Opens at 2.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
it's
it,
two.
okay, all right.
speaking of opening, you know this lady is sitting in the middle's in a show.
In a show,
Yes.
where, which show?
Another opening,
Sandwich.
another show from Elderville.
Oh, here
You're in
you
Elderville? Elderville, yes,
Oh.
yes.
That's fun.
So
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi is Madison Guest.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I never had to use it before.
Yeah, Madison Guest, and I
Madison
don't
Guest.
believe there's a password.
I don't think
I think
there
it's
is.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's open.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Actually, let me do that right now, so the next time I'm here,
You can't go any place without internet.
Madison
Yeah.
guest.
Mhm.
Okay, come on, so join. It's not Madison guest. Okay, it's trying. Yeah, because I've had the same thing where I tried in here to look something up and didn't have service. All right, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Adjournment at
we
11,
have-
We have to go
adjourn
into-
to
Non-public.
non-public
Right.
There you
session.
go, there you go.
Yeah,
I think it's a roll call vote.
Yeah, it has to be roll call.
Okay, Doug,
Yes.
Margaret. Say yes.
Yes.
You're agreeing to adjourn to a non-public
Oh,
session.
we have non-public
we do,
business?
we do.
Yeah.